Hey everyone, thanks for coming to this speed talk titled Finding and Reporting Security Bugs to Elastic. In the next 5 minutes, I'll tell you who I am, how to disclose vulnerabilities to Elastic, I'll go over how I found one, and we'll follow the resolution process. My name is Dominic Couture. I'm a senior security engineer at GitLab. I also like spending time hunting for security issues on the HackerOne bug bounty platform, and this is very much related to why I'm talking to you today. Outside of that, I'm a big outdoors person, and I can talk for more than 5 minutes without mentioning my dogs, but we have no time for this, so let's move on. If you find a security vulnerability in any Elastic product, you can visit the page linked above and email security@elastic.co to communicate with the team. They also run a bug bounty program on HackerOne. It's private, but I have permission to mention it, and they plan to make it public one day, so keep an eye out for that. Kibana has a narrating and actions feature that allows you to monitor certain data points and trigger actions depending on conditions that the user sets. To act on those conditions, you create connectors. Here we have the webhook connector that allows the user to send HTTP requests anywhere when an alert is triggered. Immediately when seeing this feature, I thought, can I send requests to the internal network with this? We even have a nice test function where we can set any request body. Turns out that yes, we can send requests to the internal network, but there's a setting to prevent that. expac.actions.allowedhosts. That got me thinking, can a host name appear to be valid, but cause a request to be sent somewhere else than the validated URL? For the validation, Kibana instantiates a URL object and then reads the hostname property. For the request, the URL module is imported and the parse method is called. Those are different, so could this be abused somehow? Here I'm introducing Redumza. It's a super easy to use fuzzer that generates test cases based on the input. You can see it here. It generated a bunch of different cases based on my valid URL input. It adds random characters, just really anything. I wrote a script that took the Redumza test cases as input and then parsed it with both parsers we saw on the previous slide. The script would then alert me if it found a URL that produced different but valid host names. After a while, it disappeared. The tab character in one case was removed, and the other case it caused the hostname to be truncated. So with the input mydomain.co tab m, in one case we have mydomain.com, and in the other case we have mydomain.co, which is very interesting. Another fun example would be jenkinsqa1.dev.example.com. With a well-placed tab, we can create jenkinsqa1.dev, which is a valid domain thanks to the .dev TLD. So here's the attack path. Assume a value of webhook.example.com for the expac.actions.allowedhosts setting. Create a connector targeting webhook.example.co tab m. Register webhook.example.co and add a DNS record that points to localhost. Use the webhook test API, and there you go. You found a server-side request forgery vulnerability. All that's left to do is write a report and responsibly disclose to Elastic. Open source means that you can follow along with the fix. The titles usually won't be too obvious, not to draw too much attention, but if you find your PR, you can read the explanation for the fix, you can look at who's reviewing it and what they're saying, you can follow along with the backports and even look at the CI. It's really fun and only possible because Elastic is open source and transparent, so this is really cool. When the security issues are severe enough, the fixes are shipped in a security update. You can read those details over at the URL mentioned here in the slide and read everything shipped in each version and how impactful it was. And that was it. If you want to hear more about the technical details of the issue, an article came up just now on my blog. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you in the chat.